Hey everyone, Matt Brady here, your Carolina mortgage coach. And on today's Behind the Closing Table episode, I'm with my buddy Joel, a fellow first responder turned real estate agent. So let's hear his story and the advice that he has for everyone. Joel, thanks for being here today. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started in the industry.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Matt, for having me. Yeah. So how I got started was I was a cop in Charlotte. I didn't have a lot of family time. I have a wife and three kids. So my wife wanted me at home more to help out, just because she was doing a lot of the family stuff at home. So I was downstairs in my house one day. I was praying to God about if there's any other thing I can do, please, let me know. And then immediately real estate came to mind and came to my head. I looked at a class to take to see if I could get my real estate license. And the days that the class was available aligned with the next time that I had all my days off. So I went full speed ahead. And during that process, I did ask God for resources, not only in the way of money, but people and relationships. And it's been going well ever since.
Awesome. It truly was a sign. And,
Oh, yeah.
it's crazy how the world works and how it all just falls in line how it's supposed to be.
100%, man.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about your journey in real estate, how long you've been doing it, how's been your journey so far?
Yeah, so I've been doing real estate for about 7 years now. I got in it in 2019, towards the end of the year. My very first client was one of the buddies that I went to the police academy with, and he was at my division, so that was kind of cool,
Mhm.
and helped him get his first house. And then it's been good ever since. Since then, I've been a team leader on a team, and I'm currently coaching agents at another firm. So
Oh,
it's been
nice.
good. Oh, yeah.
When did you how long did you do both before you went fully into the real estate side?
So I did both for about 4 months. And then when I got my first commission check, or when I knew my first closing was going to happen, I sent in like basically a month notice to
Mhm.
the police department. And the scary thing about that was the day that the closing happened, that's when COVID shut down everything in the city. So then I was not able to show homes in person. So I was a little afraid, but it ended up turning out well. So
Yeah.
it was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. Trusted yourself. So that's
Mhm.
awesome. So if we were to ask, your past clients, we asked what makes Joel different, what would you hope that they said about you?
I would say what makes me different would be that I really do care. I mean, I know a lot of people care, but for me, it's not about the money. It is about the person and making sure that they get the right home that they want. I want to know about their life. And then I also want to bring them into my family and my circle of friends. So when I get a client, you are my client for life. You are my friend. That's what I turn you into. So I would say that's what makes me different. I really want it to be a relational business. It's not transactional on my end.
So You know, what's one of the top questions we ask on here, and I always love to see the perspective because it's always different. What do you think people misunderstand about being a real estate agent that they might see across social media or on all these documentary shows? What's the real life or the true story about being a real estate agent?
Thing that people misunderstand about real estate agents is that we are always available. And what I mean by that is I love my clients. They are phenomenal. Uh, but sometimes there's some who will just be like, "Hey, can you do this for me right now?" And unfortunately, I can't because I'm with other clients and I might be handling something. So for me, I do a lot of triage. What's most important right now, I do that, and then I go to the next task and the next task. So I get to everyone, but I think that's the one thing is people feel like real estate agents are always available. And I feel like if you are a producing real estate agent, you can't answer everyone at the same time.
Mhm. So with your years of experience, is there a constant theme or a constant, not everyone does it, but a mistake you see pop up again and again from the buyer side and from the listing side that repeatedly, maybe not every transaction, but
Yeah,
comes up a lot?
definitely. I would say the biggest mistake on the selling side is trying to overprice your home. I know COVID jumped up a lot of prices. There was a correction. So now I see there are some sellers, not all, who want to still overprice their home. And when you do that, your home sits a lot longer, and then it looks like a sale later. So you end up making less money than you should have. So that's the biggest mistake I see sellers do. On the buyer side, the biggest mistake would be either not reaching out to someone like you first and getting pre-approved.
Hmm.
Because, for instance, if I'm only qualified for $400,000, I don't want to look at $600,000 homes, because then my viewpoint is 600,000. And then when Matt, you tell me that I can only get a $400,000 house, I'm looking at stuff and it does not look like my expectations. And now it's harder for me to make a decision on what I want. So I would say that's the biggest thing, is not getting pre-approved, or at least talking to a lender first before you start that journey.
One thing I've actually started doing with clients is when we get them pre-approved, we also go over because everyone's so rate conscious right now. But
Mhm.
what I like to say, okay, well, here's the rate range we're in today. If your rates improve a quarter percent, this is what you're looking at. And if rates get worse a quarter percent, what you're looking at. I'm like, you may not be happy either way, but can you handle both?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, well, then don't worry about the interest rate because the interest rate's going to be what the interest rate's going to be when you find that house.
100%.
So, so if we can take that off the table, I think it makes them, better prepared to be out there. But then also having that conversation of, you know, everyone's trying to get the best deal in the house. But when we break it down to every $10,000 changes your payment on this.
Hmm.
So it's like, do you want to, you're not, do you want to miss out this house? You're not missing out this house because there's a $20,000 gap. You're missing out on this house over $100 payment. So do you want $100 to keep you from getting this house? And that
Exactly.
helps change the conversations too when you put it into that context because
Exactly.
the
It's like, all
numbers are
right,
just so big.
yeah, it's like, this, can you not go to Starbucks 2 times and get
Yeah.
this house? Or is the 2 times at Starbucks worth missing out?
Yeah.
So it's perfect. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And it's also how you mentioned that's one of the things I like to say is, when you want to get pre-approved first, because if you see that $500,000 house and you only go 400, you're comparing everything to the $500,000 house now.
Mhm.
But then also when we have that conversation, and, it can go that other way of like, okay, we're not really finding anything at 400, but if we bump to 425, it only changes your payment X amount. But now look at what we can find. And you can't do that if you've not been pre-approved with the lender or a good lender that can go through those scenarios with you and just not shoot something out. So
Exactly.
awesome. What, when you're talking with your listings and you have potential, sellers, are there renovations that you see? Like, what are some good renovations that actually could add value or help you move that home faster? And what are some that you think would provide value, but you don't really get your money back or not as important when you're
Oh, yeah.
looking to list your home?
No, great question. So I've gone through that a lot recently. So bathrooms and kitchens always sell homes. So as long as you do it tastefully, that will add value to your home. New flooring, that always adds value. The thing that I see people make the biggest mistake on is they say, "Hey, Joel, I just did a new roof, or I got a new water heater, or I got new HVAC," and all of that stuff is good, but that is categorized in that box of general maintenance and upkeep. So it could help your home sell faster and be more appealing, but it's not going to add that value to your house like you want it to.
Hmm. Definitely. What There's a lot more people entering the market as first time home buyers. And, they see a lot of headlines in the news, good or bad. They see a lot of competing information on what side of the algorithm you're on TikTok on, is buying a house good or is buying a house bad? What's your recommendation to first time home buyers that are getting into the market for the first time?
I would say definitely buy a home, but also talk to you or someone like you and say, hey, what can I do to buy down the rate? Like, do I need to ask for a seller credit? Because a lot of times buyers are winning right now, and we can either get the house lower, we can get seller credits. There's a bunch of different things we can do to make the offer creative where it works for the buyers and it works for the sellers. So I would say speak to you, speak to a lender, and figure out what you can do to make the home affordable to you and comfortable for that monthly payment.
Awesome. So you work North and South Carolina.
Oh yeah.
This area is one of the top areas people are moving to. The
Hmm.
Carolinas is seeing lots of massive growth, people coming into this area. What are some hidden gem areas that you don't think get enough attention that people should look at buying a home that, should be on everyone's radar that maybe is not right?
All right. So I would say couple different places. I am very partial because I love Still Creek. The River District is new construction. They're building a bunch of homes out there. They'll be building for a long time. It's beautiful walking trails. I drive over there just to walk on the trails with my kids. I would also say York, South Carolina is building up a lot. There's a lot of great homes over there, um, great deals as well. And I would say Clover, South Carolina is starting to build up. So I would say all of those areas have been good for
Oh,
me.
yeah. I can definitely vouch for that. I live in the Clover Lake Wiley area, and I would say my home is almost doubled in value in the 6 years I've owned it. So
Yeah. I went
it's
over there.
yeah, it's definitely, and more is coming in.
Yeah.
More and more is coming in. Who would have thought Clover would have two high schools?
Right.
Like you get to that point. I grew up in Fort Mill, and Fort Mill is another pretty much offshoot of Charlotte. When I
Mhm.
went there was one high school, and I think they have three now.
Yeah.
So it's crazy the growth down here. Is there a I'm sure you get this question a lot. How do you answer this to your clients? What's the big difference in you're right on the border, living in North Carolina versus living in South Carolina? Is there, when people ask you, what's your advice on that?
Yeah. I'm partial again, born and raised North Carolina, so I love North Carolina. I always tell my seller, or not my sellers, my investors, if they're looking for an investment property, I try to advise them that North Carolina might be a little bit better because of the taxes. If you buy an investment property in South Carolina, you're going to pay a higher tax rate than if it was your personal property. So that's mainly what I tell my clients. Outside of that, North Carolina, South Carolina, it just depends on their own personal preference. I've had some clients want to go to South Carolina because it's further out from the city, not as busy, still busy, but not as busy. So
Mhm.
further out. And then I had some clients where they're just like, hey, I have to be in Charlotte. I want to be around everything. So I just gear it based on their personal lifestyle and what they want to do.
Yeah. I don't think there's a bad area. It kind of just is more, what do you want your lifestyle to be like?
Mhm.
Because north or south, there's both lakes. Both areas are a few hours from the mountains, a few hours from the beach, a major airport. You have your professional sports teams, but you also have a lot of festivals and concerts. So yeah, I don't think you can go wrong. It just what fits your life situation right now, I
Oh,
think.
100%.
But no matter what, the Carolinas is definitely a great place to live, and the numbers are showing that.
It's definitely showing it. And the traffic, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that I would say that's the one bad thing about where I live is that Buster Boy Bridge. It's like you have to decide what side of the bridge you want to be on by like 3 o'clock, or else you're going to be sitting in traffic.
I
Especially
went
when you're
there.
on my motorcycle. That's the
I was
worst.
I was going there one day to show a house, and it was just one car that was blocking one side of the road, and it backed up traffic for miles. And I was like, man, this is it was
Oh
interesting.
yeah.
It is what
So-
it is.
Sometimes it's faster to turn around, go down 77 and come up through Rock Hill, then try to
Yeah.
go over that bridge. And that's kind of crazy. Or go through Gastonia the other way, depending if you're
Yeah.
further up, go through Gastonia to get to the house. But so I'm sure you've experienced a lot of things. You say you mentor some real estate agents now. A lot of people want to get in the industry. New agents are joining every day. What do you think separates the successful ones from the ones that flame out the first year?
That's easy. The ones that are successful are the ones that actually implement what they learn. So there's a lot of agents that I see who they're like, "Oh man, I'm going to the classes, I'm learning, I'm doing this," but then they never take what they learn in class and implement it and take action on it. The ones who are successful are the ones who take action whether they're scared or not scared. They're always taking action. So if you don't take action, uh I haven't seen people be successful if they have not taken action.
Okay. Do you think it would be beneficial, even though the commission might not be as strong or the splits, to join a team when you first get started to get that experience, or to find a mentor and maybe go at it on your own? What do you, I'm sure it's not a blanket statement for
Mhm.
everyone, but what are some things to consider when you're a new agent, whether go the mentor route or go the team route where you still get the mentorship, but maybe you get a little bit different level of training or mentoring?
Yeah, I would say it depends on your personality and what you need. So if you're someone, like in a disc profile, I'm a DI. So if you're someone like me and you're just like go, 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 then maybe a mentor might be a better route just because you're still more likely to just do the actions and eventually the money will come as long as you're doing the actions frequently. Uh, if you have a different disc profile than that, possibly a team, because then there's a possibility of you getting leads and then you'll get more reps, you'll get more coaching, more training around that because they have an invested interest in you closing those leads or closing those deals. So I would say it's based on your personality and how fast you need to make money and your comfort level. So I think both of those are good options just based on your personality.
Okay. Now, is there certain questions you recommend people ask when they're even interviewing brokerages to join?
I would say it's always important for me, at least, that the brokerage has a cap. You don't have to have one. I like having a cap. So that's important for me. What's your cap? If I was a newer agent, what does training look like? What are your monthly fees? Um, And those would probably be the main things. Basically, the training. What does that training look like? Um, because for me, I first started at Keller Williams South Park. They gave me phenomenal training. They taught me how to be a real estate agent, which was phenomenal. It was exactly what I needed at that time.
Yeah, and I think that can go way more than just focusing on your commissions
Hmm.
split, just because it goes back to, you know, the size of what the fruit. Would you rather have a big piece of something small, or, it's something a little bit smaller, but you get a more gain or more benefit over the long term, with it. It's to set up your career to not just be successful now by making a little bit extra money on the transaction now, but to set you up to turn this from a job to a career. I,
And I agree because I come across agents all the time and I feel bad for their clients. There's nothing I can do because I have to represent my clients to the best of my ability. But I'll see other agents, they don't know the contract. So I don't want to say I can take advantage of it, but it's like if they don't know the contract, that's on their agent. I have to do what I have to do for my client. And I've seen that put other people who we're going against in a very bad position just because their agent decided not to get education and to learn and either go to a brokerage that, the cap, they did, maybe they got 100% commission, but no training, or they didn't take it upon themselves to get training. So I think training wherever you go is very
yeah,
important.
because I feel like, just like in the mortgage industry, the foundation you build those first few years is what's going to pay off down the line.
100%.
And and I think that's a great segue in. there are a lot of real estate agents out there right now. Um, yeah, you can use a family member or a good friend that just became licensed, but this is the biggest asset you're either selling or buying. So
Mhm.
definitely do your interviews just to make sure they're the perfect fit. If you were recommending, you know, someone that was looking to interview a buyer's agent and then looking to interview a listing agent on their potential sell, what would be some questions you say they should ask to really find the right fit for them?
I would say the first question they should ask is if their name is Joel Hargett. But outside of that, just joking. Um, I really do believe that, at least for me, I am a relationship style real estate broker. So I love working with my friends. I love working with my family, but I do set expectations. I do treat it like a business. If you want to help out your friend and they are new and they haven't sold anything, ask them, how are you going to successfully represent me? What training do you have? Are you bringing on somebody that has more experience to help you with it? Because that's what I did. My first transactions, I had other real estate brokers who would work with me who had way more experience, because I was like, hey, this is my friend. I don't want to mess up this relationship. So I want to make sure that I do, above and beyond. What does that look like? And I would, yes, split the deals 50-50 with a more experienced real estate broker, because I knew that I wanted to learn from them and I didn't want to mess up that relationship. So that's what I would ask. Like, ask about their experience. Ask, they don't have to sell a billion homes, but just ask about how what their experience is, and ask how are they going to get the job done successfully.
Awesome. Yeah, it's very important to ask that because you could be leaving a lot of money on the table or not being able to find the right thing to hit your goals you're trying to do.
100%.
Um, what would be something that, there's a lot of myths in the real estate. Is there a myth that you wish would go away or that you find that is really hurting a lot of people?
Ooh, I would say a myth that I see, and I don't know if it's just on the client side or the agent side, but I think it's if you have been in the business for a long time, you're automatically going to do a good job. And I feel like that is a myth. I feel like if you are learning constantly and implementing constantly, you'll do a good job. But I've seen agents who have been in the business for a long time and they're just resting on their laurels, and they don't keep up with, um, the new updates, the new laws, and done a bad job. Or, I've seen a bunch of different crazy things. So that would be the myth that I see. Just because you've been in it for a long time, you're going to do a good job.
Awesome. Awesome. A lot of great information there. Um, if someone's looking to buy or sell within the next year, what's your advice to that person?
I would say to reach out to a lender and a real estate broker and get a game plan together. Think about what you're comfortable paying monthly, and then what does that equate to as far as your purchasing power, and then reach out to a real estate broker and figure out what your buy box is. Find out what's important in a home. Is it 2 stories, 1 story? How much square footage? How many bedrooms? What are your non-negotiables and things that you can work with? Just so when that time comes, you're fully prepared, and then you can go ahead and jump on a house. And then let's say if your timeline goes up some, you're already prepared and you're not behind that 8 ball.
Awesome. So we dove a lot into real estate. Let's peek a little bit behind the camera and tell everyone a little bit more about Joel. I know you're big CrossFit guy, big
Yeah.
into fitness. What when Joel's not doing real estate, what are you and the family up to?
Man, well, either church, fitness, soccer games, yeah, that's pretty, or coffee. Love coffee. So
Okay.
yeah, that's pretty much it. Church, fitness, sports, and food. That's what we
Awesome.
do. Yeah.
Awesome. Where's your favorite restaurant in the area?
Oh, don't hate me. I got a lot of friends that don't like it, but I'm a huge Olive Garden fan. I love
Okay.
it. I know it's not super authentic, but I love
Well, they have that one thing they're running now is the 13 weeks of all you can eat pasta. I think it's like $100 or something, but
it. Oh, I didn't know
13
that.
weeks of it. So yeah, you got to check that out.
Shoot.
Um, what would be if you weren't living in this area, would there be another area of North and South Carolina that you think you'd be in, or would you be out of the state or
Ooh,
live somewhere else?
if I could have my way, I would be out of the state. I've always been interested in either Boston or somewhere in Florida, so I'd probably pick one of those two places.
Okay, complete opposites. Just
Yeah,
depending on the time of the year, you're there.
exactly.
What's something that most people don't know about you?
Ooh, um, something that most people don't know about me is I got my eye glued shut on accident in high school.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't know that.
All right, that's a pretty unique story. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, if people really connected with you and really liked your story and the message you were given today, what's the best way for someone to get in contact with you?
But yeah, they could either reach out to me on my phone at 704-996-6496. They can reach out to me on Instagram at Joel Hargett Sells Homes, or just find me on Facebook at Joel Hargett.
Awesome. Well, everyone, thanks for listening today to Behind the Closing Table with Joel. Hope you got some great information, whether you're a buyer, seller, or someone entering the real estate game. If you have any questions, reach out to Joel, reach out to me, and we're happy to help you. This is Behind the Closing Table, and everyone, have a great day. Thank you.